Hey, Hound Dogs, I'm David Hankins,
I'm Paul Hankins.
I'm Trevor Hankins.
I'm Julie Cannon.
And I'm Jen Moreno.
and you're on the air with Power Squared. This week we're going to talk about the topic of AI,
Yes.
which none of us are really experts on, but it's coming up a lot, and especially I know that the writers and actors guilds are part of their reason for striking is because they're concerned about AI.
Yeah.
And I just thought maybe it was a topical topic to talk about.
Yes.
So, anybody have any thoughts about AI?
Is it
It's
bad?
taking over the world.
Listen, Bill Nye says that's only possible if you tell it. No, I'm kidding. Uh,
And he has
It's
a
kinda-
master's degree in science. Yes.
yeah, so you gotta believe he's also taught us. Anyways,
I remember
Gosh,
when
it
Bill
was
Nye
good.
was on a comedy show. I forgot the name of it, Next Exit or something like that, out of Seattle. He was on the show as Bill Nye the Science Guy for a comedy, and now he's quasi.
wait, was that the one where he went like ballistic at our generation because we weren't growing up or something?
This was like 20 or 30 years ago.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was gonna say, is it kind of weird to say I'm kind of? I remember I saw like an artist, like a content creator that I saw where it was they were kind of in the gray on the matter.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
it can be good and bad per se, like in a weird way. I couldn't really remember what he said precisely, but it's basically the gist of like how you use it. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, it's not inherently good or bad. What matters is how it's
Yeah,
used.
it's like it's there,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like it exists, kind of thing.
Yes.
That is, that's kind of how I feel. Although it's at the same time, there are potential. It's some people have used it for the wrong reasons already.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Like, for example, AI is being presented as like a get-rich-quick scheme for artists.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Especially on YouTube.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's, you can't use AI and call yourself like an artist because it can't create anything out of whole cloth. It can only copy what you train it with.
Yeah. So in essence, you're just a programmer.
Yeah.
Anything
Yeah.
else?
Glorified programmer.
Like, I mean, which isn't a bad thing, but also like,
Well,
yeah.
Yeah.
you're not being. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't want us to use AI on Power Squared. I
No.
don't think that's really going to be a problem, but.
I can see how an artist might use it as a tool to help them like rapidly. It's kind of like using Flash to rapidly prototype a game. You can use AI to rapidly prototype something before you commit to it, and then you don't use the AI generated thing. You just use it for
Yeah, you
inspiration.
start off that way, and then like, oh, I'm ready to. I'll use that. It'll be okay this time.
Well, I mean, there are already artists that use an AI generated image and slightly tweak it and then present it as their own thing, which
Well,
people usually don't like.
to me, art is a human expression,
Yeah.
and if you're using something that's not human, then you're not really making art. You're just making an image.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say
That's it,
maybe the
that's
silver. No, sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say like maybe the silver lining of it. Like I said, like it's like we said in the beginning, like we're not like we don't like we're not really like professionals in using this or whatever the heck. But like I feel like the silver lining of it is maybe like you maybe probably use AI as maybe as like a reference point, and then like just go from there how you would normally like, how a normal person would use like I don't know like a. I was gonna say Picarto, but I feel like that's a streaming site. I'm sorry. Well, how people would use like Pinterest or like just googling images to try to find a reference point for an
Yeah.
art piece. So
Yeah.
Well, that's one. Yeah,
I think
but
that's kind
Yeah.
of what I was trying to say.
why can't you just find an image and use it as an art piece? Why do you need AI to produce something for you?
see, that's kind of the part like where my brain kind of like slight like at least 1% of my brain kind of gets it because it's that weird feeling of yeah I can find all these references, but sometimes these references ain't it kind of feeling. Like you
Yeah.
ever get that feeling sometimes where you're trying to find like the perfect reference to something, whether albeit like maybe a paper or an
Oh.
art piece or just trying to get something, and for some reason you can't just find it.
Yeah,
and then somehow it's like it's weird.
I remember when I was writing a script, I had a hard time finding a picture of a stairwell that I liked.
I remember trying to get Rachel to understand a gesture, and it was somebody doing this, and I couldn't find an image of it, and it was Mocha doing that to Eli, I think. And when I was a kid, you didn't have seat belts in the car, and so when your mom was driving too fast and stopping, she'd put her arm out like that was going to stop you from crashing through the windshield, which it wouldn't. But I was trying to get her, she had no reference to that, and there's no reference on the internet for it. I think we had to take a picture of somebody doing it or something to send
I feel like it's one of those things. Sorry to cut you off. I feel like it's one of those, like, there is a reference of it. However, you have to be very, very precise with your wording, and that's the hard part.
Yeah, I tried every little
I
thing I
had
could
to
think
find
of.
something. From
Holding
My Hero
child
Academia.
down in car.
Well, see, that's different than it was. You know, again, it's an old. My reference was old. You know, and no one, the internet wasn't there. No one was taking pictures of it, and so there's really no. You know.
Or even like a specific action that would define that kind of action too.
Yeah. So I think we had to take a photograph of someone doing that and send it to her. I think it's so.
I think we also used a screenshot from My Hero Academia of
Yeah,
a similar gesture.
Right. Yeah, something like that. But I couldn't find a reference for her for it because she didn't understand I think she had some other way of what she did wasn't what I was looking for. Anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I understand it's not always easy to find an image that you want to use. But
Yeah, and that's like the part of me where like my brain goes, okay, fair point. However, but at the same time, I still get it. It's a weird thing of like I understand. However, moment. It's one of those very situational things, but obviously you can't always play that card in every like debate or talk whenever these kind of things come up.
Yeah. Well, and using AI for everything is also lazy.
yes. Yes.
So.
It's like I remember from like the last time we talked about it, it's like it's either lazy or it's a lot more convoluted than if you were just to draw the straight line yourself kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
because I remember one time when you guys were talking about it when you saw someone do it, you were just looking at going, okay, so is there a point between the rest stop in here, or like what are we doing here kind of.
Yeah.
Then
Well, it was somebody I remember watching a guy, I think I said last week, who was using software to try to avoid hiring an artist to do the work, and it was like more convoluted. And I imagine spending a lot more money on software and all that. It wasn't AI, but it was sort of going in that direction.
Yeah.
You know, but it was just like I don't want to become a programmer. You know, that's not and the images look kind of, I'll say kind of crappy to me, but he was making money at it, so he got a panel at Comic-Con.
As far as concerns that people have about AI, for instance, I remember Ubisoft, so they were introducing an AI to write the combat barks in video games, so then writers don't have to worry about that. But the writers didn't like that because, knowing Ubisoft, it's very possible they would eventually just use AI to write the entire script.
And then there was what was the credits for some Marvel show that's all AI?
Oh,
What?
Secret Invasion.
Secret Invasion, yeah.
The intro released for the first episode was AI generated.
Yeah, totally. So you're not hiring
no.
we're not taking away a job, we're just not giving a job to somebody.
And I used a screenshot of that for the thumbnail for the YouTube version of this.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the beauty is you can't copyright AI, so they can't.
Yeah, they
I'm
There
pretty
was
sure at some point the bigger companies will try and copyright anything AI generated.
someone.
It's copyright law, though. They can't.
Yeah, someone had copyrighted an AI generated comic book, or at least a comic book where the panels were all AI generated, and the copyright office, when they realized that it was AI generated, they revoked the copyright and said it had to have human authorship to be copyrightable.
Yeah.
What?
Actually, a
Well,
law that makes sense.
What's weird is that precedent is there, and yet companies are still trying to do it.
Well, because they think they think they can be big enough, or they can get Congress to change the laws or whatever, and which God knows they probably can, but at this point you can't copyright AI. Yeah. So that would be another reason why you want to spend a lot of money on something that is generated by AI. I guess you're not spending that much money at all, are you? Really?
Right.
You just buy some software and go make it. So, but I guess I wouldn't want to put that on the front of some production that cost $1 million an episode.
Yeah.
Because then you couldn't copyright part of it.
Yeah. And I know with the writer's strike, one of the concerns that the TV writers had was companies trying to replace their job with AI.
Mm-hmm. And actors are worried about them. We can create an actor. We don't need you to do it, and we can have them, walk or do something that you won't do or can't do or shouldn't do.
Yeah.
So they're concerned about it too.
I actually found. I was going through my phone earlier, and I found a quote. Yeah. This is Norman Reedus talking about working on Death Stranding. He was asked, now you've gone through this experience, is something you'd want to do again? Would you like to do more games? And he said, yeah, it's fascinating. As an actor, you're acting. As part of a story, you're in this large story. It's completely different than the games I grew up with. It's completely immersive and requires all your attention and patience. I asked Kojima once, this is so realistic. Do you think there's going to be a day where you don't need actors anymore? He goes, no, you can never do that. You need the soul. You need a real human to have real human emotions. And I was like, thank God, because I wouldn't have a job if not.
Yeah. That's
irrelevant.
Yeah, well, I mean, art is a human thing, and acting is part of art.
Yeah.
And so I mean, all that it's the human experience, not an AI experience. I guess you could have an AI experience, but it wouldn't. To me, it would just be, as I say, images and blah blah blah, not really a story.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I'm very much pro-human, I guess, in this case.
Yeah.
So, just
what?
Showed you a video from Kyle Hill.
Right.
Where he was talking about how these YouTube channels were sort of kind of diluting the science side of YouTube. And he was suspecting that because of how the channels were putting out videos faster than any normal human conceivably could, that they were using these creators or channels are using like multiple AIs to.
But also, didn't he find one of his videos on somebody else's channel?
Yeah.
It's just sort of like stealing, isn't it?
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like you can use AI to fabricate different aspects of a video and have it automatically upload.
Yeah. I mean, people are lazy and stupid, and combination together, you can make money at it. It was never. You can never go broke underestimating the American population or something like that.
Oh dear.
Yeah, some quote.
But the point he was making was the people that were doing that were kind of diluting the conversations and even spreading misinformation.
Yeah.
Which doesn't help anything.
Nope. And then there was I'm going back to a reference I know. There was a story about a month or so ago of Paul McCartney was taking a John Lennon song and finishing it, and he said he used AI, and that freaked out everybody. And It was really just, it wasn't AI so much as just manipulation of it with a computer, but he said AI, and that was like freaked everybody out.
Yeah.
That there was all these stories that came on the news about AI because he had said that. And I guess Jen got upset and left.
Oh, she got blue screen, so she'll be back.
Okay.
I don't know when to add that to the thing because people were talking. So.
That was just her AI version right now.
Darn it!
Made me realize I forgot.
Not again. No.
What?
Made me realize I forgot the overlay. Maybe it's okay.
It's okay.
But anyway, I think AI is also kind of a boogeyman sometimes too.
honestly, I feel like just the way, like just media in itself just kind of, I guess, in a way hyped it, just caused people to get more scared.
Well, there is
More than anything.
there is that science fiction,
Yeah,
which
that's
they
yeah.
say is a possibility of, it's deciding that, if you let it make too many decisions and things like that. But I mean, it's hopeful that they're actually trying to they're trying to look into actually regulating it, or the Congress is actually getting told about AI as opposed to, and trying to maybe do something about it as opposed to social media that they kind of ignored. But with AI, they're actually having, hearings about it and stuff, which is encouraging that they may actually try to regulate it. And it needs to be What's weird to me is the people creating it are the ones telling you, "Oh, it can get out of hand." Then why are you doing it?
Yeah.
They say this could destroy the world. Well, then stop.
Well, it's
Then
like,
stop, please.
well, it does make me think of like Jurassic Park, where it's like you thought more about whether or not you could. You didn't stop to think whether or not you should.
Right. But I mean, I guess AI, I'm hearing an echo. Anyway, it's being used by Google and Microsoft and all those people with search engines are using some form of AI to figure out what, that's how their little algorithm works and stuff.
They're using some form of ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Aren't they hyping Bing doing that?
Yes. Yeah, they're hyping Bing doing that.
So AI, I mean, if he wants to do search stuff, cool.
ChatGPT, that reminds me, South Park, I think it was in the last season or something.
Yeah.
They did an episode about ChatGPT, and part of it was written by ChatGPT in order to prove a point.
Yeah, the ending was written by ChatGPT. Then after that sequence, it was like, what just happened?
We were watching something that was, I thought maybe it was a Venture Brothers, something which is 20 years old, talking about AI or something they're concerned about at the time. I mean, it's the idea has been around for a long time. There's, was it war games? With the computer taking over and deciding that, that kind of stuff. I mean, the concept has been around for a long time.
Yeah.
But it's actually here now and real, and maybe getting over too much attention, but maybe not enough at the same time.
It's kind of in a weird spot.
Right.
Yeah.
But my concern is, again, if you're developing something you think could end the world, stop developing it. Take a break.
It's like, okay, like you found how to cause death. Why are you still doing it?
Yeah.
I made a robot that screams. Why?
People's like, it's like that pointless machine, except the pointless machine is actually funny.
Yeah.
What was that thing in Mystery Science Theater 3000, back when science didn't have to have a purpose? Or
Oh, God.
Yeah.
It showed all these machines doing stuff.
Yeah.
Back when science didn't have to have a purpose.
And then one day someone did something and now it has a purpose.
Yes. And we're all
without going too in depth, because we're not this kind of podcast.
Right.
I think with AI, there's a concern of how it might affect future election cycles.
Potentially. I mean, the idea is that you could fake somebody saying something.
Yeah, you can already fake people's voices. Like, I forgot what the program was called, the AI was called, but if you give it like a 30-second uninterrupted clip of someone's voice, it can then almost perfectly replicate their voice.
Yeah, and have them say...
it's like it's 30 seconds, and don't quote me on this, it's also like you have to say like certain like vowels and stuff like that.
Probably.
Or is it just the voice? Yeah, because I remember a friend of mine, we were talking about it once, and it was just like very uncanny.
Yeah, like I remember an example that floated around was using it to make Obi-Wan Kenobi say lewd things.
Oh God, I saw a lot of that like floating around too, but it was mainly like basically like people of Congress are just like the prior presidents playing Genshin Impact, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
wait, what?
Or like the president's playing Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh or something.
Or Pokemon
Yeah.
and showing off to each other in
Yeah.
a Discord call.
Yeah, like,
Okay.
while people are using it for funny
Yes, it can be used
reasons,
for.
there is still the potential for using it for malicious
Oh
purposes.
yeah, you could have somebody saying something they never said.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gone to a point where there are voice actors. Like, there are some voice actors I know from the Genshin Impact community where a lot of them are like pinning a thing on their Twitter going like, if you see anything outside of like an industry, I did not consent to it. Or if I didn't post anything about it, I did not consent to it. And it's gotten that far where they have to like say that because
Yeah.
a lot of people are trying to cancel those people for saying stuff, and we're just like, Jesus, dude.
Alright. This is reminding me also, like, one, I can see how voice actors would be concerned about AI.
Yeah.
And then also, I remember the last Squanch Games release, High on Life. Some of the background paintings were AI generated, and there was controversy over the fact that they use AI instead of hiring an actual artist to do it.
Right. Well, we will not use AI.
No.
There's also the concern of artists, especially those that were mainly in DeviantArt before it just wasn't DeviantArt as it used to anymore. I don't know, Julia, how long you've been in DeviantArt
What's that?
doing
No.
whatever? Oh my. Oh no.
Now I know what it is, but go on.
Because there was a period out of like beginning 2010s to 2015 where there was already an issue of other accounts, other people re-uploading other people's art
Yeah.
and earning money through that. And the artists tried to like get them taken down, but DeviantArt didn't
Was
really do anything about it.
was it
for
Yume?
a long time?
It was
One of them was Yume, yeah.
Yeah, I remember Yume. Like she was like another artist that we both like get like inspiration from. I remember at one point like on Twitter and like I think like in other places they were going on about like how their art was also getting taken and used for other stuff as well. So I heard about that like for a little bit before I left DeviantArt. I think it was Yume, and then I forgot another artist for the life of me. But yeah, like I know exactly what you mean. Like obviously people steal people's art all the time, but then it just started getting out of hand.
I've heard of that
Yeah.
on Amazon when people have that Kindle. You upload a book.
Yeah.
Somebody will download the book, change a few things, and upload it as their own. I mean, I don't know if they do that anymore, but they were doing that at the beginning.
Thing about
And
DeviantArt.
you can already see that. Like, every time that I find specifically customized items in Amazon, like, I don't know, card captor, I don't know, purse or whatever, because I like a certain aesthetic,
Yeah.
you could see a lot of things being, like, a lot of art on those items being done with AI and people trying to sell that. It's like, yeah. It's bad.
The mention of DeviantArt actually reminds me when AI was becoming more of a thing. They were like, hey, we have our own AI, and guess what? All your art has already been trained on.
Well,
Yeah, like after the whole change of the website's aesthetic, they decided, I think last year or 2 years ago,
Yeah.
to add their own their own AI thing. And they just decided that, well, I guess nobody has a problem having their art being used to feed the AI, so let's make everyone's artwork available for this AI. And the whole community just like, hell no.
Yeah.
They
that's part
like,
of me.
there's
They
people
shop-
with hundreds of illustrations. They're not gonna go through each one to like take off the tick to not use it for the AI.
They shot themselves in the foot there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's talking about AI and not exposing it to things. We were in the legal group I'm in. The head of legal was telling people don't ever like upload one of our contracts into AI because that was like that's created by stuff, and I guess they just wanted it to know everything, kind of a deal.
Yeah.
So don't help
Basically.
it.
hmm
Anyway,
So that whole generation of deviant artists, like, there was already a certain amount of suspicion towards deviant art, but there was still that trust that my art's gonna be safe here.
Yeah.
after that, it's just everyone's gone. Anybody that was remotely active, just
Up and
Yeah,
left.
since
I'd-
2020, 2020, they've been inactive since.
Yeah, I would leave too.
Well, what did they think was going to happen?
Well,
Yeah.
guys, we're going back to Tumblr.
Especially after they lifted the whole
Thingy.
NSFW or whatever it was.
Why did I bring that up? I tried so hard not to bring that up, Jen. Why?
I'm sorry,
Well,
what-
it's also Tumblr kind of messed up on that because that was the main reason why Tumblr existed. But
Meh.
oh well.
But yeah, DeviantArt's dead now because of that. Cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been dead to me before all of that, but
Yeah.
but now it's really dead.
No, it's doubled.
we
And then
brought
the
it
whole
back.
NFT, without touching it, is the whole NFT stuff where they're doing that tenfold
Yeah.
Yeah.
and layers upon layers and all that.
I think aren't NFTs kind of dead?
Yeah.
Kind of. I think
I-
Japan is still strong with it.
I know Logan
still
Paul
have-
is still trying to scam people with it.
Yeah. It's just-
At this point, I don't know if it's dead or I just managed to like trick the algorithm into just stop showing me it, and now I have other stuff on my feed now.
Huh.
Because like I've learned, like if you believe something's dead, it's probably not. It's just not shown on your feed anymore.
well, I
At
don't
least
hear anybody
for me.
talking about them or
Oh, that's true.
I remember.
making, because we at our company, they were making NFTs for a while.
Yeah.
And I don't think they've been doing that for a while.
Or,
Because,
I remember months ago, I think it must have been months ago, hearing like how crypto and NFT markets just like tanked
Mhm.
to the point
Yeah,
where
when you realize how much, according to when me and like a couple of friends were talking about it, it's like the moment they realize how much power it actually takes to create one NFT, why would you do that?
yeah, and it was to the point where the GPUs that were being used for mining were like flooding the market.
Mm-hmm.
If you're wondering why you couldn't get a 30s GPU, that's probably why.
Yes.
But yeah. But yeah, like going back to the whole AI thing, like it's like something I personally wouldn't use to obviously replace what I do. Though it's like I said, going after I'll probably post it in our Discord like eventually if I ever find the video again. But it's like one of those things where, like, if I were to personally try to use that stuff, I would probably just use it as like a reference thing or just like maybe to play around with it, but not really take over my job. If
Yeah.
that makes
Yeah.
any sense.
Well,
It's like I would use it as a reference, like how I would use Pinterest or Google or whatever the heck I would.
I don't want to
use.
see it in the comic book. Let's
Yeah,
put it that way.
exactly. Yeah,
If
of
I
course.
do, we'll get another
I know I'm fired. It's like I get it. The skeleton model was too much. Okay.
I don't know how much more we want to talk about AI, but there was like at least one last thing I could think of. Somewhat recently, NVIDIA had this like showcase of something or of AI, and the YouTube video had the widest aspect ratio ever.
Yes.
Two, they were trying to show the power of AI of like dialogue and facial animation, and everyone was like, the reaction was like, that's not convincing at all. Like there wasn't any emotion from the AI voice, the dialogue just didn't feel natural. But NVIDIA was like, this is like the future, guys.
No, crap.
It's kind of like the pacing that Facebook has with whatever meta world they have,
Yeah,
where VR chat is like already
Excuse
miles ahead.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh well. All right.
I will say though, if AI does take over, if it is not in the vision of the Terminator, I don't want it. I'm sorry.
So you do want the Terminators.
Hey, if I'm gonna go down by the Terminator's hand, that's fine by me. I'd rather go down by a
Okay.
movie meme. I'd rather go down by a movie meme is what I'm trying to say.
All right. So
I mean, there's
you're
also
for the
people
robots
that
taking over.
accept-
Okay. Good.
Sorry,
No,
go ahead.
I was just saying something stupid. Go ahead.
Okay, sorry. There's also people that, well, passively that I've seen that people accept the creation of AI art and then just fixing it. I just don't know where does that fall, how acceptable that is, and if it's actually being done at all. Because you can only go so far doing AI art and selling it as your own.
Yeah.
Um, so
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe there's ways to adapt it.
Like, I feel like if you really want AI to really pull off like a human type art, you have to try really hard. Because I have seen art pieces that I really thought it was like rendered by a human, but then lo and behold, it was done by AI. Like, I actually had to like with a couple of friends of mine, I would show them pictures like, hey, um, like, humor me. Do you think this was done by AI or human? And they all said human, but it was really done by AI. And I'm just like, oh boy.
Oh no. I mean, to someone that's not an artist, it could just be all the same. So
Oh
that's
no.
probably why. Oh no.
I do know exactly. I can't say it here. I'm so sorry.
Oh my god. But
Yeah,
there's
it's a
also
private
been
conversation,
incredible
you can
art
leave.
pieces.
Yeah.
I think it was Kane, Kane, on Twitter, where they make scenery with I forgot what, like, fractal type. It's just like tiny little details in the space of like a sky scene or a cathedral or things like that, and you can like appreciate what it is, but they let you know already that it's AI. So it's like, okay, well,
So
it's
like, it's not
pretty,
like they're
but
trying to trick you, at least.
yeah.
So it's like it's like when I said in the beginning, like, I'm in that gray area. Like, it has its impressive moments, but the
Mhm.
moment you start trying to say like, oh, you made this, well, I can one up you by doing it without even without even trying. That's just a very, very sad one. That's very sad, and that's, well, on top of that being rude, but that's a different conversation in itself.
Yeah.
But it's just like one of those things where it's like you're a programmer more than anything, and that's fine. But stop trying to pull it off, saying that, oh, I can do this and get rid of you, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I guess one more funny thing. So there was this Resident Evil 4 fan art of Ashley sitting on a barrel, and someone asked, "What prompt did you use?" And they said, "I thought of Ashley and I drew her."
I was about to say.
So I guess we
That's it?
there.
All right.
So if you're watching this on YouTube later and you like this, leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more, and leave a comment below if you have any opinions about AI in art.
All right. So until next time, I'm David Hankins.
I'm Paul Hankins.
I'm Trevor Hankins.
I'm Julia Canon.
And I'm Jen Moreno.
And you've been on the air with Power Squared.
Bye.